10 years away from pop's spotlight, older, wiser and with scores to settle, 6 of the biggest acts of a generation are reuniting for one epic gig.
I know what I don't want. Certainly won't be bullied.
I'm like maybe a couple years away from squeaky knees, some slippers and a pipe.
With just a few weeks to get match fit, will they pull it off second time around?
I'm having a break. This get out of my way.
This is the big reunion. Previously on The Big Reunion, we charted the meteoric rise and catastrophic fall of pop legends 5.
Partying for 3-4 days straight.
He hated me.
I am not going to be in this band anymore.
Atomic Kitten.
I didn't like her. Yeah, I hit her.
Liberty X.
It was a flop.
We were almost sort of like a joke.
And 911.
I was just like a walking hormone. We were just up all night with women and drink.
5 became 4 as Jay turned his back on the band.
And I was really angry.
I'm not a massive fan of the idea of getting somebody else. I'm not.
But before the reunion, Liberty X's Michelle faces major surgery.
I'm going to have a double mastectomy.
This week, we go back in time when pop was in the grip of girl power with girl groups Bewitched and Honeyz. (1998). Boyzone were pop giants, but tattooed wildman Shane Lynch had a secret. Back home in Dublin, his sisters, twins Adele and Kiwi, were preparing to take over pop.
I had a goal and I said I want to put a girl band together, I want to be in a pop band, and I will make it work, and no one's going to get in the way of that.
The 19-year-old identical twins formed a trio with their mutual mate Sinead, 6 years their senior.
So we were, going into the studio and just trying to kind of, write stuff.
It wasn't really working. We thought, I think there's someone missing here. Oh, I know this girl, she's absolutely gorgeous looking, she's a singer-songwriter, she can dance, so we asked her to come for an audition.
So I rocked up in my tracksuit bottoms and, best top.
And her hair was like gelled back, like Danny Zuko in Grease or something. And she played a tape of a song that she'd written, and we just went, yeah, that's brilliant, do you want to be in our band? And she went, okay.
With Lindsay completing the lineup, they were keen to kickstart their pop career and contacted Boyzone's manager, future X Factor funny man, Louis Walsh.
Louis suggested that there would be a lady in London that might want to manage us.
Which was weird to me because the former conversation before that was, there's only one star in a family and it's not you. That's what he actually had to say, which is obviously why he shifted us over to Kim Glover, because he was probably like, oh, get them out of my hair,
Undeterred, the girls arranged an audition with the manager of UK hip-hop act PJ and Duncan, aka Ant and Dec.
Got some hairbrushes and some bottles of water and sang and danced for her.
There was a chemistry and she really liked it and she pretty much signed us on the spot.
That same year, Mercury Records were cultivating their very own girl group, hailed as an R&B alternative to the Spice Girls. Essence was made up of 2 ambitious songstresses, Heavenly and Selena.
I've always loved singing. It's always been my #1 passion. That's all I wanted to do and that's all I did.
We felt that there was place for a younger, more vibey kind of pop R&B group. We were looking at En Vogue as, someone that we would like to aspire to.
But if they stood any chance of emulating their idols, they needed a band name that didn't sound like a supermarket shampoo.
The Honeyz were called Essence. When you have a name and you think, oh, it's okay, but it's not really hitting it, And we went to a club called Subterranea.
I was wearing a zebra print dress and I even had shoes to match. And we came out of a club.
This guy went, check out those Honeyz over there, he was trying to try it on us. And we all looked at each other, and it was just like a weird moment. We just went, Honeyz!
And soon, management added another honey to the pot in the shape of beautiful French-born Neymar.
Selena and I had been working to this point, a couple of months together, so we had an ambition to go forth and be a great vocal group. And it became apparent that Neymar is as devastatingly beautiful as she was, and very sexy, vocal-wise, wasn't there on the mat, really.
Oh, okay, what you do to me? What you do? Say what you do to me.
So all of a sudden we were like, oh, how does that work as a 3-part harmony with 2 singers?
Someone needed to grab the rudder of good ship Honeyz. Selena was thrust into centre stage.
All alone, I wait for you.
As time went on and we were in the studio a lot, our manager came to me and he said, look, I want you to sing this and I want you to sing that. So I naturally fell into that role because that's what I was told to do. But I think at that time, it put everyone else's nose out of joint.
Then say it. Want me to stay, then show it.
I was kind of given the role to talk to a lot of the press, the media, and Neymar was the ingredient that looked very attractive. The singing, the talking, and the looking good. I mean, if you look at the 3 of them, they are what a band needs to go on, but whether they were in the right proportions.
Hi everybody, I'm Sinead.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. Hi, I'm Edel. Hi, I'm Kiwi. And we're twin sisters. And we are Bewitched.
Back on Planet Bewitched, the all-new, all-singing, all-jigging pop quartet cast a spell over industry bigwigs and were instantly snapped up by Epic Records, the powerhouse behind ABBA and Michael Jackson. The marketing machine cranked into action, creating brand Bewitched.
And I remember we got the video for C'est La Vie, and my face dropped, and Edel's face dropped.
And I'm going, oh my God, what is that? The state of us. We were young, we were energetic, we were fun, and that's what the video was about.
Uh-oh, this is bubble, 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 bubble gum with extra bubbles on the top. And that was a shock.
And that wasn't the only eyebrow-raising decision. Bewitched were given a distinctive style, not seen since the dubious heyday of dad-friendly 70s rockers Status Quo.
The double denim.
Yeah, we were technically the second double denim band, but I don't think there's any more similarities between Bewitched and Status Quo than that.
We did everything you can imagine with denim. We embroidered it, we put tassels on it.
Our manager used to say, every time you step outside the door, you have to be in denim because you have to be in uniform.
We were just totally denimed out.
But kids went crazy for the quadruple denim quartet, and sales for their debut single went through the roof.
Literally, when C'est La Vie was released and went straight in the charts at #1, our life changed overnight.
Mind-blowing. We never thought it would happen.
It went from being able to walk down the street to not being able to walk down the street without being mobbed. It was huge.
And we came out of nowhere as far as people were concerned. They were like, what? There's this girl band from Ireland and they're #1. Who are they? Where are they? And what do they come from?
That was the moment I thought, oh, okay, we are actually making it. It's not we're going to make it, we're making it.
Like that, in place, it was meant to be. It was crazy.
Coming up, our 2 girl groups topping the charts, but about to hit rock bottom.
I'm not happy.
I had so much hatred for her, for what she did.
I was sobbing and I just lost it. She was struggling so much that she had to call me into her room and tell me how much she was struggling. And that really upset me.
1998, denim-clad jig practitioners Bewitched had achieved unprecedented overnight success.
The whole thing has definitely surpassed, my expectations of what it would be. It's just been absolutely phenomenal.
Debut single C'est La Vie catapulted them into the top 10 around the globe, including the US Billboard charts, and this was quickly followed up by another UK #1. As the girls river danced their way on a worldwide promotional tour, friendships blossomed.
Myself and Adele had a very, very intense relationship.
Sinead and I shared a room. It wasn't Keevie and Lindsay shared a room. And we became so close. Like, she was everything to me.
It was like a marriage.
Without the sex. Maybe that's what was wrong. I don't know.
But relationships within the clique were tested as the competitive foursome battled for the spotlight and lead vocals.
When we first started as a group, the lead was shared equally. And then we met our producer, and a decision was made that there would be a lead singer, and that was going to be Adele.
She was kind of definitely the spokesperson, the leader, the lead singer. She was definitely the one.
And Keevie and Sinead and I were to sing the backing vocals. That was hard.
Because they kind of felt, well, what's the point in being here if we're not contributing to it?
I know that upset the others. I mean, it didn't upset me, obviously, because I was enjoying it, and from as far back as I can remember, all I wanted to be was a singer. And now I was becoming one, so that's all that mattered to me. I wouldn't have stepped back from my position because I enjoyed being in it.
But while Adele was relishing her role in pole position, her songbird sibling was fighting hard not to fade into the background.
It must be really difficult watching your sister, your twin, knowing that the two of you sing very, very similar, and seeing her being out there, you know. Keevie found it really hard to deal with that.
I was definitely sad about it. I very much felt like I was in my twin's shadow, which is why I was the dancer, why I was the joker, because I just wanted to be seen. I wanted to make sure that people actually knew there was two of us with the same face.
That same year, R&B sensations Honeyz made a beeline for the top spot. With a platinum album and an explosive mix of credible tunes and sex appeal, they'd become pin-ups for a whole generation.
We were glamorous, we were sexy, we were living and breathing the name the Honeyz.
We did a lot of FHM and Maxim and those sort of magazines. I think people had the impression of Honeyz that, you know, everywhere we went we had like a line of men following us everywhere on a lead. We wish.
And it wasn't just teenage boys who were standing to attention. Stateside success was the holy grail, and when Def Jam, the major US label behind the Beastie Boys and Public Enemy, showed interest, legend status and millions of dollars was within reach.
In New York, they say, don't walk or walk.
We got signed to Def Jam in America, and we were about to be huge. We did an amazing video, 3-day shoot. You know, I was just like, oh my God, you know, we have arrived.
But the experiences of two bandmates couldn't be more different. As Selena was ecstatic about finally finding what she'd been looking for, Heavenly had reached an all-time low.
I was away from home under quite a lot of pressure. I didn't want to be away. And I was looking in the mirror thinking, this isn't for me. I'm not happy. And we had a discussion, Selena and I, about, I think it was an argument over who was wearing what or whatever, something really trivial. And that put the icing on the cake for me. So back onto the plane to the UK. I was walking along the travelator there when I turned around and I said, I'm not coming back.
That was hard, because we were at a point that we'd worked so hard to get to, and we had just got a #1 in Australia, so we were about to do a tour in Australia, and we needed her.
And I didn't think of Selena, I didn't think of Name, I didn't think of the management or the record company or how much money they're ploughing into things. I didn't. I have to admit, I was just thinking of me in those split seconds.
No reasons, wouldn't answer phone calls. We were left hanging, and then we got dropped by Def Jam.
It was just one of life's misfortunes, I think.
I had so much hatred for her, for what she did, It's frustrating when it's not your fault, when you haven't messed up your life, when someone else has messed up your life. Because you think to yourself, well, what can I do? There's nothing I can do to change it because I didn't mess it up. I was angry.
As one girl band had lost its grip on untold fame and fortune, another was on the brink of global glory. In the 6 months since they exploded onto the music scene, Bewitched's debut album had gone platinum on both sides of the Atlantic, spawning hit after hit.
You couldn't open a magazine, you couldn't turn on the telly and not see Bewitched. Whether you liked us or you didn't, we were just in your face.
Whirlwind after whirlwind, and we were kind of pinching ourselves, but we were just kind of going along with everything.
And they hit the big time, touring with NSYNC, Justin Timberlake's boy band, across the length and breadth of North America. And along the way, the awesome foursome made music history.
We were the first girl group to have their 4 first singles go straight in at #1. So we broke records.
As amazing as that is, it's incredible pressure as well, because we now know all we've done since we started was have this platform of #1. So we actually, in the back of your mind is, if we dip at all, that's it, we're on our way out. And I think if we didn't get #1, we would have been really upset and worried about it. But because we were #1, we were like, okay, we can relax now, you know, the pressure's off for a while. We got a #1.
To fans, Bewitched seemed unstoppable, but one of the girls was buckling under the pressure.
I didn't know how to reach out. I didn't know how to tell someone that things weren't okay. We had a week's holiday, I think it was, and I went to Portugal with my family and with my best friends. That's where I really started to notice something was really wrong. It was like, oh, you're getting brown, you look lovely today. And in my head, my reply was, so fucking what? I just went, I can't do it anymore. Lost the front, phoned Adele from my hotel room, couldn't even talk to her. So I came to her room and she was just in such a state. I was like, I was sobbing. I just lost it. What upset me at this point is that I hadn't seen it before she had to tell me. She was struggling so much that she had to call me into her room and tell me how much she was struggling. And that really upset me. That really upset me because we're so close and we're twins, and I haven't got time to notice that my sister is really struggling. And that's what I felt like. Adele said to me, you need help. And it was like a relief that she said it to me. I rang everybody and I said, right, Kiwi is going. She's going away for 2-3 weeks. End of story. She's gone, and I don't care what any of you say. What matters is that Kiwi is shattered right now. And nobody seemed to care about that. And it just made me realise that we weren't people to these people. We were... we were a product, you know? And their product was being tampered with as far as they were concerned.
Coming up, the pop bubble bursts.
All the bitchiness just kept brewing and brewing and brewing.
It was frosty.
Shit, this is our career, and it's going downhill.
I can't take this anymore, I can't physically take it.
I just remember it being heartbreaking.
I deserve some day.
1999. As Honeyz were poised to rival Destiny's Child, they squandered their chance of pop immortality when one of their founder members, Heavenly, unexpectedly quit.
So all of a sudden I find myself without a job, giving up something that I ultimately wanted so badly.
And when someone hurts you, it's like the end of a marriage. And that's how it felt.
Dropped by their US label, Selena's pop dreams lay in tatters. But back in the UK, she was thrown a lifeline by her management.
One of the Honeyz, Heavenly, has left. The Honeyz.
Oh, no.
But there's a new girl from Solid Harmony. Look, it's an exclusive in The Sun today. Solid Harmony. Mary Amma has joined the band. It's okay, there's still 3 of them.
The The lovely Mariama came into the band and it was like a breath of fresh air. We were so lucky and so blessed.
A round of applause for the first time. Let's welcome Mariama Goodman in the studio. Mariama! How are you?
Good, thank you.
Nice to see you. So listen, this is all quite exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Are you looking forward to joining the Honeyz?
Yeah, very much so.
When I first met the girls, it was really, really awkward because it was in the management office and they made me just stand there and sing for these two girls. It was really awkward. And Selena was very sweet. She was like one of those stage mums kind of looking at you like, wink, we're like hoping that you do really well. And then Naima was kind of arms folded in the corner thinking, what have we got here kind of thing.
Mariama's introduction into the band was far from smooth.
One of the very first things one of the girls said to me was, you're taller than me, so you can't wear heels. That was kind of the shape of things to come. I kind of figured that out quite early.
Time now to hear their brand new single. It's called Love of a Lifetime, the new, improved Honeyz. Take it away, girls.
Despite the catfights backstage, the band's reinvention was a stonking success. They set up camp in the top 20 and were finally back in the game.
And it was just like from the very second I was in the band, we were just doing everything immediately, like on all the TV programmes that you watch as a kid and doing all the magazine shoots, and it was just, we didn't really stop, it just was like a snowball straight away.
The Honeyz are here!
Brand new, honey. What were your best and worst moments?
The best moment was definitely when the single went to number 7, Never Let You Down. Because obviously you're worried when you come in because you don't know how it's going to go with a new member and everything. But we're still top 10, so it was really good.
Is she easy to work with, girls? Is she easy?
She's terrible.
Is she?
It's so bad.
I've heard she's a right nightmare.
Those chains.
It's on the showbiz circuit, on the showbiz grip bands.
Will you stop stirring?
Stop it, will you?
They don't know you well enough to know that you're only joking. Now stop it.
You sound like your mum.
Good.
Publicly, Honeyz portrayed a united front, but fierce jealousies erupted on the set of their next video over Mariama's Premiership footballer boyfriend.
While I was doing my little solo segment of filming, she went over to him and was flirting in the most painful way I've ever seen. And I looked across the room and I saw her about to sit on my boyfriend's lap, but him kind of go, I don't think so. She went flying off her heels. It was the funniest thing you've ever seen. But yeah, I decided then he was a good boy.
All the bitchiness just kept brewing and brewing and brewing. And we had 2 top 10s with Mariama. Then she became unhappy.
It got to a point where I was crying every morning on my way into work. As much as it seems like the dream job, if you're that upset going to work with people, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. And I thought really long and hard, and it broke my heart to think that I can't do this anymore. But I think for my own sanity, I needed to do that. And I walked up to one of those little internet cafes and I sent a fax and I sent it to the management, the record label, and then I telephoned Selena and then I telephoned Naima just to say, I'm not coming back.
It was just the news I didn't want to hear. To me, it was Hev all over again. You know, out of the blue, someone just leaving the band. Just as we're again starting to rebuild our group and our group's name, I can't take this anymore, I can't physically take it.
By the end of 1999, Bewitched had spent half a year on an American arena tour. Exhausted and struggling to maintain her perma-happy grin, Kiwi snapped. Breakdown or not, she was soon called back to work.
We left a bit of a gap in the UK, and by the time it came to releasing and promoting the second album, we'd lost a little bit of momentum.
Nonetheless, they were confident of maintaining their unblemished #1 record with the release of an American-inspired country track.
We have Jessie Hold On. It's not a #1. It hit #4, so I think the press reacted negatively to that towards us. It was like, oh, Bewitched are on their way down. They had a #4 and not #1. Oh God, disaster struck.
With single sales on a downward turn, a swift rescue plan was urgently needed. It was time for Bewitched to ditch the infamous double denim and sex it up.
Anyway, you're back and you've gone all sexy, girls. Yeah. Are you going all grown up on us or what?
No, I think when we came back with the second album, we had kind of come back with a grown-up image, but it was a nice grown-up image, so now we just put a bit of a rougher edge to it and kind of make it a little sexier.
Well, should we have a little look at the new Sexy Bewitched with the new single, Jump? Should we have a look? Yeah. Jump down.
The whole change of image was the wrong choice. Oh, let's do a sexy thing. I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't want to do that. It was never who we were.
I just think the fans got confused. It's like, well, you're nice and bubblegum and pop and... Well, what's this? Like, it just didn't work.
Jump Down scored the band's lowest chart position to date, 16, and jumped straight out of the charts. The luck of the Irish had run out.
You could see the struggle that we were going through, realising, shit, this is our industry, this is our career, and it's going downhill.
As Bewitched were losing their music mojo, Honeyz were becoming a human resources nightmare with a revolving door lineup. First, Heavenly left, then her replacement Mariama quit. But management, keen to keep the band alive, were about to add another sting to the Honeyz tale.
A meeting was set up, the most hostile and horrible meeting you can ever think of.
The doors opened and in came Selena and Naomi. I could see the shock on their face.
Naomi and I on one side, Hev on the other.
The room was filled with ice. It was apparent to me that they had absolutely no idea why I was there.
And our management company basically saying, right, you guys are getting back together or you're going to have no career. And that's that. Well, I'm not happy about that.
Oh, it was awful. I just wanted to be swallowed up.
Despite strong resistance from Selena, the record company pushed forward with plans to release their next single.
At the video shoot for that song, yeah, it was frosty.
I was so angry with Hev.
I felt like crying. I just felt like a bit of an outsider because I'd gone back in on something I'd left. And in her eyes, yeah, I'm probably, what are you doing here, kind of thing. Why are you in my group?
And I just think it was just a downward spiral from then on. If the chemistry between the group is not there, then it's just not going to work, full stop.
With hostilities beyond repair, the Honeyz dream was over.
We were dropped by a record label, which was one of the most devastating days of my life, really. I was in shock, I was lost, because all I knew was the band. I felt like if I wasn't part of the Honeyz, then what was the point in me existing? I didn't understand what my purpose was.
After 4 phenomenally successful years, Bewitched had lost their magic touch. But undeterred, the band were plotting to fight back with a new album.
We had the first song chosen and the video treatment was done. We were supposed to be flying out to Africa. But then there was something that wasn't sitting with me and I don't know what it was.
And out of the blue, the band were dropped a bombshell.
I remember the phone call from our manager at the time. Okay, so I've got some bad news.
When I put the phone down, I went, it's over. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, it's done. And she was like, what's done?
They're not going to go ahead with their third album. And I was like, what do you mean not going to go ahead with it?
Bewitched, it's over. Sony are dropping us. What? It was like the rug being pulled under your feet at 90 miles an hour.
And for it to be just so sudden like that, you know, not even a maybe or they're thinking about it, really was complete and utter disbelief.
Myself and Adele just wandered around in a daze for a couple of weeks. The two of us drank constantly for those couple of weeks and ran out and got tattoos that aren't even that brilliant looking. Like, screw you, record company, I'm going to get a tattoo. It's like, how does that screw them?
But once they'd sobered up, Adele was adamant that their pop star days were not over yet, and she rallied the troops.
The discussion of what was next was that we would just go to another label.
And I just wasn't feeling it. You know, it doesn't feel like we're going to have the success we did in the beginning. And to me, it was kind of like, well, what's the point? Adele came down to see me. We sat out the back in the garden, and I kind of said, you know what? It's time for me to leave.
I felt like my wife was leaving me. That's what I actually felt like.
I need to, you know, find out who I am without you beside me constantly, you know.
I just remember it being heartbreaking.
My intention was never to kind of hurt somebody, and I did. I mean, I just did what I did at the time.
Coming up, with the big reunion looming, old wounds are reopened.
There's a fear it might feel easy to slip back into old patterns, and I think if it does, then this won't work.
And there's an epic showdown for Honeyz, back in the same room after 12 years.
We are both those two people that left you in the lurch.
I couldn't understand why you did it.
Sorry for that, and I'll make it up to you.
In the decade since Bewitched and Honeyz dramatically hit the bottom of the pop dumper, the former superstars have carved new lives away from the spotlight. After she quit the band, Sinead returned to her Irish roots and started a family. She now runs her own talent academy, teaching the next generation of Biebers and Tweedies how to bust a move.
Right arms. No, bend down. Left. Head.
I set up Star Academy 4 years ago. It's a mixture of singing, dancing and drama, and I mainly tried to focus on pop. Anticipating being on the other side now in the next few months with the girls, I'm kind of dreading it a bit in one sense, because I know like the choreography is probably just going to be so much different, and I'll have to get really, really fit, and it's just at a different league.
Good.
Adele moved back to her hometown near Dublin with her husband Michael and 3 kids. The former lead singer has hung up her mic, putting motherhood first.
I'm delighted that the kids get to see what I do. I know it's not really what I've done since they've been here, but it's what I love. I think it's really important for the kids to see their parents doing what they really love. The music makes me tick, doesn't it?
In the years after the band, relationships between Adele and Sinead turned sour.
I think I'm probably most nervous about getting back with Sinead. I think it's going to bring up an awful lot of emotions for me, because I do love her and I spend so much time with her. Like, we were like that. So when you go from being like that to like this, I didn't know how to be like this with her. I'm going to get emotional now.
When Bewitched fell apart, it hit Kiwi hard. Over the years, she's battled with depression. She now works as a counsellor, and music has been her therapy.
This is the glamour of backstage you don't see. It smells like it looks.
No longer decked in double denim, Kiwi's finally out of her twin shadow, fronting her own band, The Collection, switching screaming fans for wedding guests.
I genuinely love getting to sing lead for like 2 hours every night. It makes me happy, it's fun, stress releasing, and I just to be in my own little world and really enjoying myself. But it's not to say I won't enjoy when I'm with the girls. It's going to be very different. It's just a step back to 13 years ago. It's a long time ago. But I will have to find my blend of backing vocal again. Guys, thank you very much for having us with me tonight.
Sisters. Post Bewitched, Lindsay swapped music for acting,
Sorry, we're a bit late.
appearing on the silver screen.
I just wanna make you sweat. I wanna make you sweat.
She married, then separated from 911's poster boy Lee Brennan, and she'll have to come face to face with her estranged husband at rehearsals. But that's not her only concern.
Edel was the lead singer. She also was the one with the strongest opinions, and she was our spokesperson, so it felt like to me that it was her band. There's a fear and a danger that it might feel easy to slip back into old patterns, and I think if it does, then this won't work.
Honeyz split not once, not twice, but 3 times. Selena was left to pick up the pieces. And now she's bringing back 2 of the girls who did the dirty on her to form a brand new lineup.
I'd wanted to get the group back together for a very long time, and Naima expressed that she wasn't interested at this time, so we decided to ask Mariama.
Me and Heavenly have never worked together. We've been like sort of the replaceable Supremes kind of thing on the outside. So it'd be very interesting to see how it goes.
I'm excited about this lineup purely for the fact that the 3 of us can sing and that I can stand on stage and feel proud about what I'm a part of, and not stand on stage and know that there's one person's mic switched off at the end.
When Honeyz bitterly split over 12 years ago, the girls severed contact and went their separate ways. Selena settled in the capital and is a mum of 2. Heavenly fled England, setting up home in Portugal's Algarve with her family. And Mariama swapped bikinis and urban sounds for birthing pools and ultrasounds, retraining as a midwife. With the big reunion rehearsals looming, Selena's called the girls together for a meeting in a neutral location in a bid to try and put their differences aside.
It's just going to be really interesting, the 3 of us getting together and, you know, a completely new and different lineup. I'm definitely looking forward to just putting everything behind me and Hev, putting it all into a box and just moving forward, because that's what we need to do.
I am pretty nervous, especially perhaps about how Selena might be towards me. This evening could well be awkward. I'm hoping that it isn't.
It's the first time we met up, the 3 of us, to actually talk about, in reality, doing this, a real gig together. It's a bit of a weird feeling, actually. I'm really excited, but really nervous as well, because obviously I've not ever actually worked with Heavenly before.
Oh my gosh, hi!
So we've got a lot to talk about, I would imagine.
So girls, how are we feeling?
It's a bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit surreal. It's a bit surreal for me in that you're this person that I've heard so much about.
Yeah.
And it shared experiences, like really similar things through our lives, but yet we've never
actually
hung out and talked about it. Or,
we've never sat next to each other.
I'm a bit scared of like what the future will hold. And even though we've all wanted it, now that it's facing us,
how are we going to cope?
It's scary, yeah. How are we going to cope? Is it going to change our lives for the good or for the bad? We had all the success that we had, and then it all ended and was taken away. And for some of us, it was more difficult to get over that. And now I feel like I've come to a place where I have, you know, kind of grieved it and got over it. And if that was to ever happen again, now I have 2 children involved in that grieving process. And that's the scary part. It's just literally the risk.
There's only so much your system can take, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Awkward.
How do you feel about... Because ultimately we are both those 2 people that left you in the lurch kind of thing.
Back then, I couldn't understand why you did it. especially you have, I couldn't understand. It just was completely alien to me. I was so angry with you, so upset with you about it. Even when you came into the band, I think I was on a have-hate mission, you know? Like, anyone would mention your name and I would say something negative about you because I was so angry and so disappointed in what you'd done.
You were? Yeah, I can understand that. Oh, don't know. We have to hug. We have to hug. We can't cry. Crying is not really very good. Crying's not good. We'll hug. This is good. We'll hug. It's all right. This time it's going to be good.
When you left, you didn't say anything. You just went. You know, you didn't even call or you didn't say anything. And that's the hardest thing, I think. If you had called me and said to me, you know, this is the reason why, then it would have been easier for me to not be so angry. It was so difficult because at the time you were one of my closest friends. And to not get that phone call from you was, you know, like a kick in the teeth. Forget about the group. You should have been able to talk to me and say, see, you know, this is why I'm not happy.
Okay, so all I can promise you this time, and I'm sorry for... I'm sorry for that, and I'll make it up to you. I will. Promise.
I know you will. Is it something that you regret now?
I can't say I regret it. I'm very sorry for it. Or more than very sorry. I'm amazingly 100,000,000% sorry for it.
Some of it was awkward and it was emotional and it was kind of a bit eye-opening, but at the same time I think it was good in the long run.
I'm so glad that I got to see Heavenly in that way. I got her to express herself to me. She's never done that. I've held all this anger and hate for 10 years because she never said why she left. And now to be so open and honest, for me it's such a revelation because I feel like there's such a weight off my shoulders.
I don't think she probably understands the extent that I feel sorry for the pain that I caused her. But I think I've made a start. I've made a start to something that I can continue to do.
Next time on The Big Reunion, our former kings and queens of pop reveal the dark truth about life after the band.
I'd wake up in the morning and my breakfast would be every drug, every drink.
Cocaine then becomes your bestest friend in the world.
I guess I was a ticking bomb, and the bomb exploded.
The five boys meet to thrash out their differences.
You're fucking walking around like you've got some halo on you, like, oh, I was angelic, mate. Fuck off. You're bullshitting. What am I bullshitting? Just kicking up.
Oh, can we all just fucking chill out?
Ah, shut up.
Pressure mounts as rehearsals kick in.
It's a massive thing. It's full circle for me.
Hello. Oh, making people sing, dance, what's all this shite?
And the big reunion is about to get a whole lot bigger.
Alicia's just had a call. A big reunion's going on an arena tour.
Arena! Cheers to the arena!
Cheers to Tony Martin, yeah.
We're actually going to be doing an arena tour!
Hashtag panic.
Oh my God.
We've kind of moved on from one show to a hell of a lot of shows back to back, and that's a whole different kettle of fish, so the pressure is truly on.
Wow, can you believe all that drama was going on? And there's more in next week's Big Reunion. Same time, same place. Stick around though to see how